Okay. If it is Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, that could mean just one thing. It's time for the goRIA live stream. I'm Chuck Vela, and with me, as you can see, I have Karen Barr, who is, of course, the CEO of the Investment Advisor Association. Karen, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And for those of you that have been following us for a while, you know I like to use these Wednesday afternoons to put a spotlight on what's new on www.goria.com. And what is new, as you might imagine, because Karen's with me, is a podcast that Karen and I actually recorded probably a couple of months ago, because I was looking at it today, the audio visual, and I was much more tan. And I feel like I'm in need of getting back to some sunshine. I'm feeling a little pale. Fortunately, though, I'll be able to do that soon at the Case conference in Los Angeles. So I'll get a little color back then. With all of that said, including the unnecessary tan commentary, Karen, can you give the audience a little taste of what we actually talked about on the podcast, which is up right now?
Well, thank you, Chuck. We had a great conversation about the kinds of resources that are available to RIAs who are existing RIAs and ones who are newly coming into the space. The Investment Advisor Association is a great resource for RIAs. We provide a lot of education, conferences, networking opportunities, abilities for CEOs to get together and connect with each other, as well as other kinds of personnel at RIAs, HR, operations, tech, compliance, legal. We have groups of all of these folks who can get together and share information with each other.
Absolutely. So that I think is really important to share. And I'm a relatively new breakaway advisor myself. I came from the broker-dealer channel. And about almost 6 years ago, I dropped my 7, dropped my 24, and established Sovereign as an independent RIA. And the way I like to frame this a little bit, and I know we touched upon this during our podcast, a lot of advisors going into the RIA space, they're coming from some of these large wirehouses. And there's, 10,000 plus advisor, thousands of support staff, a dedicated IT team, all kinds of stuff. Then you break away and it's you. It might be just you. It might be you and a partner. It might be you and a very small team, but it's not going to be 10,000 advisors and 1,000 strong support staff. So that could be scary for a lot of folks. But there is so much out there in the way of resources, and IA is a great one for this, that can help you figure all these things out. One of the scariest things, I think, is compliance. And I know you guys talk about a lot of different topics, but compliance seems to be a real forte for you guys. Can you expand on that a little bit and what kind of resources you have for advisors looking to learn how to stay compliant in their new firm?
Absolutely. And it's important to remember, to your point, you're not in it alone. There are 15,000 RIA firms out there, and most of them are small businesses. Most of them have 10 or fewer employees. You're not alone. There are a lot of resources that can help. We have a number of committees of compliance personnel that share information with each other. We have compliance committees and forums by topic. We have it by proposal, so proposed rules and getting feedback from our members on that. We have a dedicated smaller advisor forum that meets quarterly where folks can share information. We have expert speakers come and talk to our smaller firm members about a wide range of topics. We have resources on our website. We have hubs with information about how to comply with the newest rules and regulations. We also co-sponsor a boot camp for new compliance personnel or folks who want to brush up, called the IACCP, Investment Advisor Certified Compliance Professional. That helps newer members of the compliance community get up and running with all the basics of the Investment Advisors Act and complying with the rules and regs.
I'm not sure we touched upon that in the podcast, actually.
I'm not sure we did.
Let's take a little license here, because that sounds really, really good. Can you give us just a couple of minutes on just that? Because I think that's really important for our audience to hear.
So we and Comply co-sponsor this certificate program. We have a basic core curriculum that you have to complete to get the certification. It covers all of the basics of investment advisor compliance. It also covers the new and proposed regulations. It covers ethics, and it is a really strong designation that helps compliance folks feel that they've got the area covered, that they're really steeped in the basics, and they get to meet other compliance professionals who are in their same situation, and make a lot of connections that way. We also, then there's ongoing continuing education for that certification. So that's another opportunity for folks to keep up their knowledge base in this area.
That's great. So again, the theme here, there is so many resources out there to come into the RIA space. So if your hesitation is, how do I get compliance done, or how do I get my tech stack? There are a lot of resources there, and associations like IAA are a good first stop. If someone
And
else
we,
were, yeah,
just
please.
just to even add to that, we have compliance webinars, we have compliance workshops, and we have a really fantastic compliance conference every year in March. In
Yeah,
2025, it will be March 5 through 7. It's 2 full days. It's a very meaty conference of every topic, every important topic that investment advisor compliance and legal and regulatory personnel need to know. It's always here in Washington. We have a lot of folks from the SEC staff coming to this conference, which is why we hold it here in DC.
Scary.
As well as compliance personnel from our member firms who are willing to share their expertise with others.
Yes. So let's end on this, but I really want to emphasize this because that's a really important point. So conferences, if you've been watching this for a while, I'm a huge fan of. It's a great way to learn stuff because the content is so good. But Karen, to your point, and I really love emphasizing this, it's amazing to me still how willing other RIAs are willing to share information, like really important stuff on what's working for their shop, what's not working for their shop. Because there is, I don't know why, such a high level of camaraderie. I can't even say it.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie. Thank you. In this industry, it really is true. The broker dealer just always seemed like it was, oh, I'm not going to show you. It's very collaborative. It's really kind of an amazing thing. So you go to these conferences. Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
100%. You go to these conferences and the content A plus fantastic, really, really good. But what's, I would argue, as good, if not maybe even better, is between those sessions and over lunch and at happy hour and at dinner, you sit down with some other advisors and they will share an incredible amount of information with you. And I think that's really incredibly valuable. So the dates
I do want to second that,
please,
because we
yeah,
have, and it's not even just the compliance and regulatory community.
yes,
It's the CEOs, it's the COOs. We have these executive roundtables where folks meet in smaller groups and talk about their challenges. And you would think that people are competitors and they're worried about it, but no, there are enough clients to go around for everybody. We're talk about hiring and retaining talent. People are willing to share their strategies on that. I mean, it's really impressive what a collaborative group this industry is.
It really is. And it's a real pleasure to be part of it. And so I will reemphasize again, if you're looking to go RIA, this conference is a good one to see firsthand. How does it work? How does the compliance end, which I do believe is one of the scarier parts for people breaking away, having had compliance done for them for, 5, 10, 30 years. See that it's not that bad, right? There are resources out there. So the IA conference on compliance is going to be in Washington, D.C., March 5 to 7, 5th to 7th, I think.
Absolutely.
Yep. And
5 to
worth
7.
noting, yours truly, I'll be down there recording live, because if there's a concentration of RIA talent, I'm there. So I'm glad to report that goRIA will be broadcasting live on those days. So if you're interested, come on down. And Karen, what's the best way for folks to sign up? I'm sure, is it on your website? Is it open yet, registration?
It's not open yet, but it will be soon, and it's on our website.
Okay, what's the website?
InvestmentAdvisor.org. Advisor with an E.
Advisor with an E. Okay.
Yes, InvestmentAdvisor.org.
All right, real good. All right, that's probably a good place to end it for today. So again, the full podcast with Karen is up on goRIA.com right now. It's right at the top. Give it a listen. And on behalf of goRIA, fueled by Investment News, I'm Chuck Vela. I'll see you next week. And Karen, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Chuck.
Okay, take care.